Hi crafty friends, Eileen here. It's been a while, hasn't it? I'm so sorry. I know that I really should do more on YouTube. I know that a lot of you are disappointed in me. I promise I'll try and do better. And I've got a few demonstrations that I'd like to share with you. So I really do promise that I will try my very best to do more films for you because you're so supportive and I really appreciate that. Now, today's demonstration. Now, I had a crop yesterday. Oh, lots of friends there. We had such a laugh. It was at my local village hall because I hold crops once a month in person. And I'm doing a demonstration at the crops, not a workshop, just a demonstration. And then I said I'd promise I'd pop it on YouTube as well. And we had such a laugh. It was such fun. Yeah, for those of you that normally come along and missed it, oh, there was scandal, gossip, you missed it all. My lips are sealed, I'm not saying any more. And now, without more ado, I'm going to get on and show you how I created this. It uses Sweet Poppy stencils and also some artistry inks from Clarity and a couple of other bits and bobs that I'll tell you about as we go along. Now, so I have a piece of, I haven't even put this together, this is the actual sample that I made yesterday, and this was the original that I did at the very beginning. So, okay, fortunately for me, they do look alike. Now, pop that there. So I've got a piece of cardstock. Now it's white super smooth. You can use any make that you like. This one is Clarity Crafts stencil and stamping card. It's lovely and smooth and I like that. And the size of this topper, I've cut it to size, is 7.5 centimetres by 18 centimetres. And the whole card itself, when you finished it with a base, is 10.5 centimetres by 21. But I'll remind you about that again at the end. So this one, let's one more time, 7.5 centimetres by 18. What's that in inches? I've got no idea, but Google will tell you. Now, what's first? First is got to make a background. So what am I going to use? I've got a couple of implements here from Sweet Poppy Stencils. I'm using the spreader. I just need it for the straight edge. Now, if you haven't got one of these, they are worth the investment. I use this for pasting, of course, you know, because it spreads the paste. But it's also good to do a few quick backgrounds. If you haven't got one, you can use a credit card or a piece of quite stiff cardstock. That would do it. And what's the other thing? Oh, yes. And I've got a circle insert. This again is from Sweet Poppy Stencils. Lou sells these. You've got the circle insert and infill, it's called, not an insert. A circle infill and a square infill. And she sells these separately. You can, of course, use a plastic moon or a sun mask if you have one. But what I like about these, they're easily cleaned. But you need to be careful because they're very sharp, so be careful of your fingers. And blood on your card is not a good look. And what I like about these, particularly the circle one, is that all of the circle apertures stencils that Lucy does, they all have the same aperture size in the middle. So you can actually pop this in the middle of the aperture stencil. And if you do a brush quickly round, you get a little frame all the way round. And of course, when that's in the middle of your cardstock, when you're working on the outside, you're protecting the middle from getting any spare ink on there and marking the middle of your card. So useful. And in this instance, I'm using it to apply inks with. Starting off with the straight edged here, and I'm using Groovy Grapes. This is a fairly dark ink from Clarity Crafts. Just want to check that I'm in shot okay. Yeah. So I'm going to use a blending mat just to take it down a notch or two, because I don't want the background to be too invasive. I want it colourful, but I also want the main image to have their spotlight and not go through too much the background. Now that's a bit wispy, doesn't matter. So coming out again, it looks very wispy, but the background is going to have quite a few layers, so no panic there. A few more here, I'll have 3, I think, like so. So 3 lines, and then on to Fiesta Fall, and another brush, and again blend out some of the colour so it isn't too dark. And then I'll have a couple of these, and in fact I'll go the other way, I think. Yeah, blending the other way is the way forward. Look, you get the lines, but you don't get that wispy look, which I quite like, to be honest. So a couple of those. I'm keeping the top of this card clear, so I'm not going up any higher with the background. I want to keep it clear because I want to put another shape in on that top edge. But at the moment, just filling in a little bit, not too dark. And now I've got haystacks, and I'm going to switch from this straight edge, just wipe this ink off, to the circle, and another brush. And again, not too much pressure on the edge of the brush, so that, and then flicking up, and it would just give me those circle shapes. Another one there. Three, yeah, I have a bit more there, I think. 4 on that. Okay, and now I'm going in with a darker black shadow. This has got a blue tone to it, which I really like. And you're looking at this and you're thinking, I don't think much of that. No, but trust me, it builds on, and you can build it up. So now I've got blue tones. This is black-ish, but with a blue tone to it, black shadow. And then I'm going to pop a few, just gently. Hardly any movement at all in that. Pressure on the brush. That's coming out a bit green. Oh, don't mind. Oh, yeah, it's because it had yellow on that edge. Yeah, well, actually, that's quite nice. I like it, so I'm going to keep it. Right, but I have wiped the edge now, but be careful of your fingers if you're using these metal ones. So I'll have a little bit more there. And then I'll come back. Now, we are going to fill in, or I am. I'm going to fill in all of the areas that you see. It's going to have some sort of colour on it. But at the moment, that's all I want. And now I'm going to put on the main images before I do any more. So pop that down. Clear the decks a little. And then I'm going to use my misting. Oh, it's got very dark out there. It looks like we're going to get some rain. Very dark. So I've moved the blending mat over for the moment, but it's coming back in a minute. A couple of magnets. I'm using the back of my misty, obviously, because it's magnetic. And the stencils are stainless steel. So just to protect the back of my misty, that goes down. And the first image that I'm going to put on is the bell. And I'm popping the bell on. I just want to check the card to see where that goes. It's up a bit from the bottom and then coming over. So the ribbon is just going off the card at the edge there. I think that's about it. Up a little bit there. Yeah. Maybe it come down a smidge. Like so. That's good. So popping the magnets down, Now I also want to protect the top part, just in case there's any stray bits of ink. Yeah, and here. Doesn't matter about that, of course, because that's only copy paper. These two can go out of the way. When you're washing anything metal, use a brush, please, not your fingers, because they are so sharp. I'm just going to pop my blending mat, because it's quite now important I use this blending mat to blend the inks out, because we're going to apply the ink in layers. And one is their archival and pigment, and they can leak under the stencils if you're not careful, so a little bit at a time. And I'm starting off with the pink, which is Rose Madder. Okay. Looks as if you can hardly see anything there, which is good. So very gently, in a circular motion, I'm just going to apply the ink. I've taken off, as you saw, just a little bit of it onto the blending mat. But archival ink is not terribly fluid. It dries very quickly. It's a dye ink in an oil base, so it's permanent. And it's waterproof, and it dries quite fast. Again, take time, a bit at a time. I'm holding the stencil down as well with my fingers, as well as the magnets. And again, down this end. So I want the bell to be darker on this side, but I don't want it to be too heavy with the colour. And the lovely property about archival inks, apart from the black one of course, is that they are transparent, so you can see through the layers. That's why I love them. I don't want that to be too dark, so a bit more, increase the pressure just to define that side. And then, as you can see, going across, that's sort of like a bit lighter, so it's more wispy and sort of fade out. That's what I was after. So up comes the bell. Oh, that's nice. And I can see the layers underneath that I've done already, which we're going back to. So the next stencil now is the large holly, I think it's called. There's a couple of holly stencils. Either of them will do, but this one is smaller. There's another one that's quite large. This one's smaller and perhaps easier to handle in this instance. So I'm going to pop this down, just trying to see which way it went on. I think it went on this way, didn't it? Hold on a second, I've got... Yeah. Can you see Daisy? She's barking. She wants a treat, I think, Ken. She wants a treat. You want a treat, Daisy? Daisy's decided to join in the... she decided to join in the demo there. Right, so popping that stencil on, and it's actually, I think I'm going to... Sorry, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pop the main image on of the stag, because I don't want the holly to cover too much of the stag. So we've got the bell, on goes the stag, so as you were, popping that on. Now I want both eyes on the card, but antler on the left is on the card, and antler number on the right is off the card. So pop that there. Now you really do need to be careful with him, because in this area where the antlers are quite thin, it's easy to get the leakage under the stencil. So take your time and apply the black ink in layers. Let's pop that over just a smidge more. Yeah, that will do. But I'm also going to protect the card with more tape. So a little bit more down there. A larger amount down the side, so that no ink can go over and ruin the back of the card. I do need to get to that antler there. Good. Right. So black archival now. Black archival, very opaque. Smaller brush. And then just, look, it's really thick, so blend it out, okay? Blend it out, and more and more and more. And then very gently, hardly any pressure on the head of the brush, holding the stencil down with your fingers, as well as the magnets. On goes layer number 1. Now with these antlers, I'm going to be careful. I'm pushing down on the stencil so it's really flat to the back of my Misty. And obviously the metal stencil is being gripped by the fact that the back of the Misty is magnetic. Every little helps. Oh, down comes the rain. Oh, yeah, it's really giving it some welly out there now. Right, so down we go. And then I'm going to do a bit more. Just a tiny amount on the antlers again. Quite light on the head of the brush. Not pressing too heavily. And then just down again. And that's, fingers crossed, I haven't got, oh look, all over my fingers. Useful. Fingers crossed I haven't got any leakage underneath the stencil, because it's, can't repair that. It would be throw it in the bin job and start again. Let's move the magnet. And this one. Remove the tape. Like so. Sorry, I had to leave the desk for a moment. I thought, oh, golly gosh, that rain's a bit heavy, and then I realised the front windows were open. Well, it's washing my curtains now. They needed a wash. Oh dear. Anyway, I've closed it up. Okay. Yes, lovely. No leakage. And that is lovely. I'm really pleased with that. What a relief. Now I'm going to put the holly on. Need to clear this mess though. Just taking off the layers. I'm not bothered about the staining. I can use alcohol, isopropyl alcohol to clean the mat later, but I just want to get rid of most of the black. That goes in there, and now off goes the holly. Now that's coming on. Now I know where the stag is, and just getting it the right way round. So it's that way round, yes. So that's coming down there, like so. And one went across the antler. Yeah, I think I'm getting a rough idea of where it should be. And then that one went down there. Right. Okay. I think that I've got it. Not critical, but you know, it helps if you, for instance, if you don't get the leaf too close to his eye, which I did on one occasion, and I was heavy-handed with the green ink, and you couldn't see his eye and the ear, and it altered the whole perspective of the card because half of the image was sort of wiped out by another colour. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, of course you do. So now it's 2 lessons to learn. 1, don't use too much green ink, and 2, position the holly properly, which is what now I'm doing. So over we go there. Need to protect this side with a bit more tape because there's a bit of card showing. And also along the bottom. I'm not bothered about the top because I'm well away from that. So I need to protect that. I've got green here, brush, and I'm using Shady Lane from Versifying Claire. Quite a fluid ink, so be careful. You can use archival if you wish. Quite a fluid ink, so, and it's quite opaque, so I'm not putting too much on. Not too many layers of this. So that I'll be able to see through it then. If it's too opaque, you won't be able to if you apply too many layers. Let's have a look at that. Oh, that's fine. Again, that is just going in the background there. Now I have some lines here that I really don't like where I've overdone the inking. So I'm going to take my trusty eraser and just see if I can remove some of those. Not really. Oh well, never mind. I shall make a feature out of them then. It's just a few lines there that I don't like. The inking, I wasn't very smooth when I was applying the ink, but it's adding texture. And I'm going to splash it about with some snow, so that will cover it up. I'm aim for that spot first. Right, so the main images are down, and now I'm going to finish off filling in the background. So I want a little bit more. I want to get rid of all this green because I'm not using that. And again, isopropyl will get rid of the staining. But I'm going back to the artistry inks, Black Shadow in particular, and the circle. My circle infill. I'm just going to very lightly, hardly any pressure, very lightly, because I want it to be wispy. I don't want it to, and I'm just filling in now any areas, but you can hardly see the colour because I want to make sure that the eye is drawn to the stag and the holly rather than the background. But you can see, just see that. It's a bit more there. Change colours if you want to, but I do like this Black Shadow. It just got this blue tinge, like so. Now coming up the card a bit, again I'm sticking with the blue again, and I'm coming out from the top of the circle. Seems to give me a smoother look. There, and you're getting the line of the circle there. That adds extra interest. It's bringing it round. And now this top part here, I'm going to turn the card upside down and then clean off this right the way round on your fingers. If you're using one of these, it's very sharp. I sound like an old nag, don't I? Yeah, well, yeah, an old nag. That's a horse, isn't it? An old woman. Mind you, there's times when I feel like an old nag. I tell you, I can't wake up. Haystack. Going to use some of that. And I'm going to pop this circle down again. And taking it down to the top of the ribbon. Now, this is just to give a bit of interest. and I want a smaller brush. I'm using yellow again, but I want a smaller brush. I'm going to pop that down, and I want to add some circles or parts of circles. 1, 2, leaving that on. I need the orange Full Fiesta. I want a little bit more colour on this. I want the circle shape though, the line, and I'm using another brush, being careful because this is a stronger colour. So that's orange. Yeah, why not? I need a bit of a brighter colour. Moving it backwards about half a centimetre at a time. To be really, it doesn't matter. You can make these lines or half circles as wide or as narrow as you like. It just adds a bit of interest, something a bit different, and it went down well yesterday at the crop. So I thought, oh, do that again then. Now, a bit more orange. Bit more yellow, I think. Let's make it a bit intense. Yes. Why not? And then that one there. So the whole card is full, but you've got those sort of sweeping semicircles at the top. I think that adds quite a nice pattern, doesn't it? So what have we got? Well, we're almost now. There's still one bit is catching my eye, and it's that bit there. So I'm going to go back and just put a bit of yellow there. But basically, what you're getting is quite a subtle background. Even though it's colourful, the colours aren't too deep or in your face. You know, the main image is that stag. So now I'm going to add a little bit more to this. I want to put some gold in, and I'm using the infill again because I want to do some lines, but I'm going to use the infill as a guide, and just going to highlight the half circles or quarter circles, whatever you want to call them, that I did. The curved lines, that's better. The curved lines. And you can have them as wide or as narrow as you like, of course. All right, so I've highlighted those. Just going to bring this one down a bit more, like so. Make that a bit thicker. That's good. So that's the gold there, and that really is, I mean, it was an accident that I did that shape, but it looks like the sun's rays coming down, doesn't it? Yeah, in the bleak midwinter, because we can have some snow in a minute as well. Okay, so now I'm just going to very quickly just put some gold in to highlight the ribbon. Take your time with this, I'm rushing it a bit. So it just highlights that ribbon and brings it to the front. Don't want to go over the antler of the stag. Put another bit down there and there, like so. Yeah, you really need to take your time with this. I'm going a bit too fast. I don't want you to get messy and ruin it. Bit more there. So the bell is quite gold now, golden bell. This pen is so good. If you do make a mistake, just rub it with your finger and it sort of blends the gold out, so it looks as if you've got a golden background, and it's and your mistake isn't too glaring. Okay, now the final bit of gold is on the leaves, the holly leaves, and around the berry, but not right the way round. I'm sort of just highlighting the tops of those. You can never have too much gold, can you? Like so. That's good. Yep. And then finally, oh, there's two finalies. I just want a piece of copy paper to protect my stag, and another piece there to protect the antler going out there. You don't have to mask them off perfectly, just to give them a bit of protection. And I've got a white Posca pen, paint pen, and I'm going to have a bit of snow now. So I've got a whacking instrument, give it a good whack. Right, and go back along your pen, and it's a very small nib, so that I don't want too many big blobs. I want snow to be gentle, but fine, that's the word. Now this bit at the bottom where I've got a few lines that I don't like, I'm really going to lay the snow deep, crisp, uneven to get rid of those lines. Will at least take your eye away. So it's along the top, down the side, along the bottom, but the rest of it is sort of left as it is. That's good. So I'm quite happy with that. Move this away. Move all this detritus away. Put the board back. Tell about you, I get in a mess when I make a card, do you? I'm looking for now my stickles, yes. But before I put those on, I've got to hold the card down, and I'm using a Sharpie, black Sharpie, which I know I have. There it is. Black Sharpie just to do the border. So holding this down. Oh, can't do it on the card. Yeah, I'll be with you in a second, Daisy. Look, I'm just finishing off, all right? Can you hear her crying? She's either crossing her legs, or she wants a treat. Yes, and I think that's what she's after. I'll be with you in a second, Daisy. All right, I'm going to rush now, my pals. Ken's supposed to be looking after her, but he's sitting over in his armchair, and I think he's nodded off. I'm not that boring, but I must be. Right, okay. Now, Daisy, what I'm doing, look, let's make the dog interested, and she might forgive me. Yeah, I know, Daisy. If I do this, look, if I squeeze that, yeah, I'm going to squeeze it. I know. Yeah, I'm not giving you attention, am I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Okay, my baby. I will go and get you a treat now. Right, crafty pals, if I've forgotten anything, I am so sorry, but my doggy needs me. So there we go. There's the topper. There's the base card. There's the topper that I've just completed. Here's one that I made earlier. No, it wasn't that one. It was this one. So I will say now, thank you for watching. Okay, calm down. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry about Daisy, but I'm sure that all you doggy lovers will forgive her. And I'll be back soon. And I'll have Daisy doing something else. Right, bye for now. Thanks for watching. Take care.